Right now, tensions in the Middle East are being framed in dramatically different ways, with claims and counterclaims dominating the narrative. A major talking point, circulating in some discussions, is the assertion that Iran has downed an American F-35 fighter jet, one of the most advanced and expensive aircraft in the world. However, it's important to note that there is no verified public evidence from credible international defense sources confirming that such an incident has actually occurred. Still, the broader perception battle is very real. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has repeatedly claimed that Iran's military capabilities across its air force, navy, and ground forces have been significantly weakened, even suggesting that its defense systems have been neutralized. Yet, critics argue that these statements often clash with ongoing developments on the ground, where Iran continues to demonstrate resilience through its missile and drone programs, which analysts say have become central to its military strategy, especially given the economic constraints and sanctions that have limited its ability to build a conventional air force. At the same time, rising hostilities between Iran and Israel are being highlighted as evidence of a broader regional escalation. Reports and narratives describe coordinated strikes across multiple Israeli cities, including Tel Aviv, Haifa, and Jerusalem, portraying a situation where tensions are spiraling, and the risk of wider conflict is growing. While the scale and specifics of such attacks often vary depending on the source, what remains clear is that the conflict is increasingly being fought not just with weapons, but with messaging, each side trying to shape global perception. Iran's approach, according to some analysts, has been to lean heavily into asymmetric warfare, using precision missiles and drones to offset the technological superiority of Western-backed air power. This strategy has fueled arguments that traditional air dominance may not guarantee control in modern conflicts. Another layer to this unfolding situation is the geopolitical and economic dimension. Iran has been signaling alternative trade mechanisms, including oil transactions that bypass the US dollar, which some experts interpret as an attempt to challenge American financial influence globally. These moves, combined with threats related to strategic maritime routes like the Strait of Hormuz, add pressure not just militarily, but economically. Meanwhile, Washington's response appears increasingly complex. There are reports and policy discussions suggesting that the US could reconsider certain sanctions on Iranian oil, indicating that diplomacy and economic strategy are still very much in play, alongside military posturing. Within the United States, the political narrative is also shifting. Critics of Donald Trump argue that his rhetoric has often been inconsistent, alternating between aggressive posturing and unexpectedly conciliatory remarks about Iran. At times, he has praised the Iranian people while simultaneously endorsing hardline policies against the Iranian government. This dual messaging has led to confusion among allies and observers, especially as some traditional partners have shown reluctance to fully align with US positions. Organizations like NATO have made it clear in various contexts that not every regional conflict automatically becomes a collective responsibility, reinforcing the idea that this particular standoff is being viewed by many as a more localized confrontation rather than a global coalition effort. On the ground, the nature of modern warfare is also under scrutiny. Targeted strikes on leadership figures, infrastructure, and strategic assets have become a defining feature of this conflict. Analysts note that such tactics aim not only to weaken operational capacity, but also to disrupt command structures and morale. However, Iran's system appears designed for continuity, with rapid replacements and decentralized command structures that allow it to absorb losses without collapsing. This resilience is often cited as a key factor in why the country continues to project strength despite sustained pressure. Ultimately, the future of this conflict remains uncertain. Some experts argue that Iran currently holds a form of strategic leverage, particularly in shaping the pace and scope of escalation. Others believe that the situation is far more balanced and fluid, with both sides facing significant risks. What is clear is that any resolution will likely depend on negotiation as much as confrontation. Diplomatic channels, economic incentives, and international mediation could all play critical roles in determining whether tensions de-escalate or intensify further. For now, the narrative war continues alongside the real one, with each development verified or not fueling a global conversation about power, perception, and the evolving nature of modern conflict.